This video is to demonstrate how easy it is to convert a Ferguson TO-20 or a TE-20 from a generator to an alternator using an Acclaimed Products alternator bracket. I will show you how to assemble these in a moment. The most important aspect of installing this bracket onto the alternator is that the bracket must rest flush on these four bosses coming from the alternator. This product was designed using Delco Remy alternator casing dimensions. Not all aftermarket casings are the same as the Delco Remy. So you may have to, depending on which brand you buy, you may have to open up the inside diameter of the bracket or file some light spots on the alternator. The bracket goes on with the threaded hole being at the top. Clamp B goes on the top with a 5/16 18 by 1 inch serrated flange bolt. Clamp A goes on the bottom, and using a 3/8 by 3 inch carriage bolt goes in. A washer, lock washer, and nut go on the back side of the carriage bolt. (9/16) wrench, and now the top. Okay, with the carriage bolt tightened, we tighten up the clamp B with a 1/2 inch wrench. The wrench size for the output is a 7/16, and the wrench size for the grounding lug is a 1/2 inch. Do suggest you use the grounding lug. And now we're ready to install. To remove the alternator, we have to remove a 7/16 20 by 3 3/4 inch bolt that it pivots on. And this is a 7/16 20. It's not a 3/8 like so many people think it's a 3/8 bolt. Nuts off. Yeah, lock washer's off. Now, I'll get that in a minute. And we just tap the bolt out gently. And like I said, this is a 7/16 20 by 3 3/4 inches long. Now we save this for later. Now we have to remove the 7/16 14 by 2 inch from the tension bracket. And this is probably the hardest bolt to remove because of the belt. But once it's broken loose, you might be able to hand manipulate it with the loose belt here. I switched to the ratchet, at least to get it going. That should do it. Okay, 7/16 14 by 2 inch. Save it for later. Now with two hands, grab the generator, tilt the pulley towards the engine block and out from behind the V-belt. Installation of the alternator. And this is where the 7/16 20 by 3 3/4 inch bolt you removed with the generator comes in. Take the bolt, slide it through the engine boss, the tension bracket and into the spacer. Spacer must be standing up. Now, install the alternator the way you took out the generator. Behind the belt. Slide into position. Now that it's through, put the flat washer on the 7/16 bolt. Start the nut. Now with the 11/16 wrench and socket, we snug it up. All right, now that we've got, it's not snug, it's not tight. Now we take the 7/16 14 by 2-inch bolt and slide it through the bracket, through the spacer, and into the tensioning bracket. Now that's just finger tight. Now we tighten the pivot bolt to make sure it's seated properly, but still has a little bit of motion. A little bit. Now you hold the alternator with your left hand and tighten the tension bolt. Okay. Now we finish tightening the pivot bolt. And then do it right-handed. Okay. Alternator is installed, the belt is adjusted. Now we just have to attach the output wire and the ground wire. The bracket is painted, so that may not be making a good ground through the frame. So I suggest that you use a number 10 wire and this is a 5/16 18 by 1/2 inch bolt for the ground terminal on the alternator. Okay, so we tighten up that 5/16 18 by 1/2 inch bolt for the ground cable. Now we attach the output cable, and this cable runs from the alternator to the ammeter. There we go. This requires a 7/16 wrench to tighten the terminal nut, and it would be nice if you have a boot on it like this one. Okay, that's it. Generator removed, alternator installed. I won't get into the wiring because each individual tractor is going to be different, whether you're using a resistor in the line or not, but I do suggest that you replace the coil from the 1.5 ohm to a 3 ohm so you don't have to use a ballast resistor. With reference to the ground cable, I ran this number 10 wire up to where the battery is grounded to the frame. And there's enough thread on that stud to accommodate it. Now, this is set up for a 6-volt positive ground. The installation is the same for a 12-volt negative ground, 3-wire or 1-wire. It's just that I had so much money invested in the 6-volt brand new battery and headlights and taillights that I decided to just stay with 6-volt positive ground. It works fine for me. My tractor starts in the winter time with no problem. Well, that's it. That's how easy it is to use the Acclaim Products Alternator Bracket Conversion Kit.